Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Hey Fam, how you doing? I'm your host, Dr. Candace House, and my co-host, Dr. Fatisha Andrews. Y'all ready to get started? Okay, great. I'm ready to get started. Hey, the show is called Hey Fam, How You Doing? And the reason why it's called that is because we really and truly want to know, how are you doing? How you feeling? What you thinking? Is everything okay with you? And if it's not, okay, we understand. But we want to talk about it. There's a lot of things that we are concerned about when it comes to you. You're not alone. I promise you. We've got you. We're here for you. Okay? That's why the show is called Hey Fam. Because we're all family. We're part of God's creation. We're part of God's family. Each and every one of us. So, you're going to see on this show different topics. You're going to see different guests. And with me is Dr. Fatisha. She is a nurse practitioner. She also deals in mental health, and mental health is so important. We have to make sure that we're in a good headspace, right? We've got to make sure that our emotions are intact, that our emotions are not just running rampant all over the place. We just got to make sure that we're okay. It's okay for us not to be okay, but we got to make sure we get okay, okay? It's nothing wrong with being not okay, but you can't stay not okay forever. You got to get out of that not okayness into being okay. So that's why we're here, okay? We don't have all the answers, but we got some of them. And if we don't know the answer, if you got a question or if you got a concern, hey, we'll come back the following week and we will answer said questions that you have, okay? We do not pretend to know everything. Do you?
Nope, do not.
At all. But we know some things.
We know some things.
And
That's
the things we know very well.
That's right. Yes, we do.
And so what we'll do, the things that we don't know, we'll get experts to come in, people that can answer your questions, and they can talk about it, okay? So that's what this show is about. So I want to introduce Dr. Fatisha. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself. You can check in our bio and you'll see, our bio is like, oh, this is a snapshot of who we are. But as time goes and you stick with us, you'll know us. You'll know us. You'll know us like you know family, okay? Dr. Fatisha, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Candace, for having me. So, just want to let you know just a little bit about who I am. Like I said, my name is Dr. Fatisha. I am a nurse practitioner. First of all, what I love to say is I am married and almost will be about 30 years this year. So we are just thanking the Lord for that, right? We have 3 boys. They're all men now and 2 grandchildren. So I really, really, really do love that I've been able to be married for so long and also to have a wonderful family. Along with that, I'm actually also, like I said, I'm a nurse practitioner, but I started out by just having a bachelor's in biology and then decided to just deal with family and be able to love my family and care for them and be at home. And then later on, when I got into maybe like my 30s, whatever, I decided that I wanted to go back to school and I was going to become a doctor, but some things happened, so I actually went through and became a nurse practitioner. So with me, I have my family nurse practitioner certification. Then I decided, okay, let me go back and go to school a little bit more, and I got my doctorate in nursing. And so with that's a little bit of the research, some things that we kind of learned about. And then I decided, okay, let's go off and talk about mental health, right? Because it's important, because there's so many people that deal with mental health. So with that, I was able to go out and get my psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner certification. So I've been afforded the opportunity to have some things in my background, but like Dr. Candace said, I do not profess to know everything, and what I don't know, I will go out and get the information for you. Whatever you need, I will take care of it, but I will answer what I have, and then from there I'll go do research for people.
She's been married 30 years. My husband and I have been married, Dr. Anthony, 40 years. And actually, it's 41 years. Coming up in April. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
That's good.
3 children, 5 grandchildren, and I think 3 more on the way with the blended family type thing, as far as the grandchildren are concerned. And we're pastors, okay, my husband and I. Oh, she's a pastor as well. So listen, so in this show, you'll see us talk from a God perspective, but you'll also see us talk from a human perspective, okay? My degrees are in psychology. I'm also a neurolinguistic practitioner. So it's all about, and then I'm a life coach, a success coach. So listen, I'm used to talking to people. I'm used to people, and a pastor. So people are coming to us with issues, with problems, and we're used to helping them to solve said problem, okay? We're not solving the problem for you. We're just helping you solve the problem. And what this show is about, we're going to deal with things from a spiritual perspective, from a physical perspective, because you see my stomach, you see how big the stomach is? I'm sitting down, you can't see how big my butt is. But check this out. As this show goes on, you're going to see me lose weight. Why? Because my health is important. And yes, you can be healthy and big, but I want to be fine. Big difference. And I want my knees not to hurt when I'm going up the stairs.
Yeah.
You understand? So we're going to come to you from a physical perspective. We need to be in line physically, spiritually, mentally, psychologically, financially, right? Mm-hmm. Educationally, physiologically. We need all of these components working at least 80%, right?
That's right.
Nobody's 100 all the time.
No, not all the time.
At least 75, 80%.
That's right.
Okay? So we need to be doing stuff that is going to enhance all these areas in our lives. And that's what this podcast is about. So this is an introductory show just to talk about what we're going to talk about.
Amen.
What we talking about next? She likes being prepared. I like being off the cuff. So we're just two totally different people.
That's right.
So I'm just shocked that she don't have that piece of paper in front of her.
I really am. Next time I will. That's right. I know the first one was talk about relationships. I know another one's talk about communication, and then I know some going to talk about mental health. You know, all that kind of thing.
Okay. Wait a minute. I got my trusty phone.
Okay.
Hold on. Everything is on my phone. Look, self-care and mental wellness for families. Man, families are under attack. Really. As a counselor, as a mental health professional, you are always dealing with families. You're dealing with children that are out of control.
Oh, yes.
You're dealing with parents that are overwhelmed.
Yes.
Tell us, like, some of the things that you deal with.
Okay, so what I deal with on probably a daily basis, I see families that are, okay, so first of all, I see families that have foster care children, okay? And so these are children coming into a home because they don't have their own home, something has happened, and now they're being taken care of by a foster care parent. And that in itself is a total whole nother dynamic, and I'll go back to that. But then I see all the other families who, of course, they birth their children and they're dealing with that and those different things like that. So I'll go back to the foster care. So there's a lot of things, and you know, I see a lot of the children, and they haven't. Some of them have had parents that were on like drugs or alcohol and different things like that. So when they come to me, it's because something probably happened to them when they were in the womb, and then when they got out here, and now they went through some trauma. Now they're acting out, and many times they, you know, some of the children say, I don't know why I do it or whatever. So you have the family. My goal is, when I help them, I'm doing really like medication management. My goal is to have them do behavioral management, okay?
Yes.
So that they don't have to have medication, and if they do have medication, then at least they're doing like therapy, behavior therapy, stuff like that, so that you can have less medications or come off of medications, you know. But a lot of them have a lot of behaviors, and they're not able to focus and concentrating, or going to school and not, behaving at school and at home. So that's like one set of dynamics. And so you have a foster parent that's trying to care for a child who
With all
they
kind of
brought
behavior
them,
issues.
brought them into the home. And then
Yeah.
of course they're taught that there's going to be some things that's going to happen because the trauma that some of them have been through. And guys, you don't understand that some of these kids been through a lot of trauma. I would have never known, I know you've seen a lot. I would have never known how much trauma they go through, seeing different things. But such as it is, they do. And then they have to kind of work through those emotions. And so what I'm doing when I see all the children, whether they're foster care or not, I'm always asking, do you have something you want to talk to me today about? How is it? How are you? You have anything that's on your mind, anything that you want to go over? And most of the time you're like, no. Or then, and if they've seen you for a while, then they're like, yes, I do. And then they start telling me a few things. But we're just trying to figure out like what's going on. I want them to know that I'm not just there just to give them medication. I'm here. I really do care about you.
Yeah.
And there are times when they'll probably say I'm fussing at them. I'm like, no, you shouldn't have did that. Why you do that? Do you know why? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, see how we can help this.
So let me ask you something. You mainly deal with children?
No, actually, I do it from children, like 5 on up to whatever age, 80, 90.
Oh, okay, that's good.
All throughout the lifespan.
That's good.
I remember my oldest right now is like probably 71 or 70, between 75 maybe.
Okay, 71, 75. What have you learned?
All right, so I will honestly say this, is that before I got into mental health, I particularly didn't know that it was a real thing. Like, and many people don't.
No, they don't.
You kind of think that, well, why, is there really a sadness? Is it really anxiety? Is there really someone really going through, something like that? Why can't they just control themselves? And that's just being real, because I didn't, when you don't grow up in that, or, you didn't deal with it yourself, you kind of figure out, this is real, but I can tell you that it really is real. Yes, there's spiritual ramifications that go along with it. I do. It is a lot of spiritual stuff, but at the same time, there are like different things in our brains and chemicals and stuff that people just get a little off balance.
That's what I'm talking about.
And they have to be checked out. They have to.
And everything that the church says is a demon is not a demon.
That's right. It's not.
It's a chemical imbalance that's
Yes.
going on.
And that's what I learned. I had to go through school to learn this. Like, oh, this is like really real. And then even as I started to see patients, it's like, okay, you still like, okay, I'm just going to. But no, when I've talked to so many people, I get it. I understand. Because the one thing is that I can treat someone and they come in like they're really depressed every day, daily depressed or anxious every day. I can share with them with the medication, and they come back maybe 1 month or 2 months, I'm just so much better. They may still feel a little sad. They may still feel, but you're supposed to, because we're emotional. God gave us emotions.
Yeah.
Right?
And medicine should not be where they're so dumbed down that they can't, all they can do is just zone out.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
I'm not the type
You
of
want
person.
them to be able to function.
Yes. And I share with them once they get to a certain point, I say, okay, are you depressed or are you sad? Is something going on? Did something happen? Because if something's going on, I have people that have this through Christmas time, holiday, and we just coming off of that.
Yeah.
They just get sad because there's a loved one that they had, that someone. I have a couple people that their husbands passed away, and they were married for like 30 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to be a little sad. Of course you may, some people still miss their parents. So I'm not changing medications over that.
No.
I'm like, no, let's just go through this process. This
And
is
feel
normal.
what you need to feel.
Yeah, this is normal. Feel it and go through the emotion.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about it later. Is it still lasting? Then maybe I need to do something about it at that time. But no, going back to the chemical imbalance. People really do get better, once they do take certain medications. But I always share with them one thing, Dr. Candace. I say, yes, I help you with medicine, but get the therapy that goes along with it.
That's right.
Because guess what? Medicines are not going to take care of everything. You don't want it to. You have to deal with your emotions, coping skills, mechanisms, how to handle a situation, how to walk away when you need to, how to do what you need to do. Those are things that you have to do on your own. And I try to get the children to understand, yes, your parent brings you to me, but I want you to be able to be better. I want you to be able to do this on your own, because you need to be able to learn. I tell them, I said, you're going to go get a job. You're going to have a family. You have to learn how to, deal with these things.
Yeah. And not be medicated through it.
That's right.
You know what I was thinking about? You remember, okay, so back in the 60s, right? And they would have all of these different movies and shows, and you would see people who had money would go and get Xanax
Yes.
because they couldn't cope with just everyday life. And it's usually women,
Usually women.
right?
Yes.
Because they didn't want the responsibility of being in the moment with the fact that their husband worked all day
Yes.
and took business trips and would come home and not help them with the kids. You know what I'm saying? And then to deal with the kids, and they're acting all crazy like kids do. And they're like, their thing is to pop Xanax, go shopping with their girlfriends, and just, I'm not feeling nothing. I'm not experiencing anything. I just have this perpetual high, and any and everything goes. And we have not grown past that, because it's now new. Well, Xanax is still around.
It is still around.
Yeah, Adderall
Alpha,
is.
sorry.
Yeah, it's still around. So it's the fact that you took this to deal with life instead of just dealing with life.
That's right. You have to deal with life. You're so right.
Yeah.
You have to deal with life, or life is going to deal with you. Mm-hmm. Right? Because the medicine's not there. It's there to help, not there to take over. Because you still have to feel those emotions and do what you have to do.
And process them.
Yes.
And move through them. Get to the other side. Yeah, that's why I went into neuro-linguistic practitioning, because I was like, I would see those shows and people would be in therapy with their therapist for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, still with the same. I'm like, are you serious? Why does it take that long? Why are you constantly going sitting on a couch? What can we do to get you from point A to point Z? Well, at least get you to P.
To pee.
Better than at least get you to P.
That's right.
I mean, in a short period of time,
Yes.
so you can move forward.
Yes.
So I want to talk about that, because so many times people self-medicate through all kind of stuff. And if they're not doing the prescribed medicine, and then I have a situation. I was dealing with some folks that are in the medical field. They ended up losing their job for self-medicating. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so they're not where they were. Their status, all of that hard work and effort that they put in to be in medical school, to become a doctor, to then just lose it all after a successful practice. Because instead of trying to really truly cope,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, and getting help,
Yeah.
they took the easy way, the shortcut, and now they lost everything.
And it's a shame that happened.
It happens a lot.
It does. It really does.
High stress jobs, you have so many people that are on Wall Street that are self-medicating. They got prescription drugs. You've got airline pilots on prescription drugs.
That's right.
I mean, you've got surgeons on prescription drugs. It's not just the housewives anymore. It's not just the children.
No,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
everybody.
You've
Yeah.
got preachers on
Yeah.
prescription drugs. And they're abusing them
They are.
to cope with what's going on with them.
Like that, but it's so easy for people to get addicted to it.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, because, and so there's what they call an epidemic, as you know, epidemic here in the United States. I don't even know if it's in the world. Do you know if it's in the world?
It's not in the world.
Okay, so
Wait,
just
wait.
United States.
Let me back up. Because while we were in not Mozambique, we were in Mombasa, Kenya. So in the east of Kenya, east coast of Kenya. They were telling us, and then Pakistan too when we were there. They was telling us that, and taking us to a neighborhood where the people were just strung out. They used to not be strung out.
Wow.
You know who brought the Western
West brought it
countries
over.
brought it over to those
wow.
countries. Those people was not strung out on drugs like that. They'll drink alcohol or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Now you're so addicted until you've lost everything. You have no job, your family, you're wandering around. Like here in the United States.
Yes. They're here in the United States.
It's becoming an epidemic
It's
everywhere.
Everywhere, then. Yeah. and it's a shame. So I know that there are like a lot of now prescribers that are not prescribing those medicines. I had people, they'll come and they'll ask about it. I'm like, nope, we don't do that. You know, and they're like, okay. I say, you know, they'll try to say, okay, maybe they're PCP. Even PCPs are sending them over to different ones. So the main thing is that a lot of prescribers are trying not to do it as much, but you still have those that are still doing it, you know. It just all depends on the matter of the heart as well. You know, I know some people need it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that you don't.
Yeah.
It just means that it just depends if you're using it judiciously, you know, like a little bit, that whatever's needed, you know.
Our time is almost up.
Oh, really? Already?
Yeah.
That's good fun.
We need to find out from the producer how much time we got left.
That's the first segment. We'll come back.
Okay. So we are shutting down right now.
Right now.
Guys, we're getting ready to shut down. How did you enjoy the show? Okay. But we really, truly, we gotta go. We've got some people that need to put a little spin on this podcast. We don't want to wear you out. We don't want to talk too long. We don't want you to get bored and change the channel. So stay with us to the end, okay? Really, truly, this is just part one. We'll do part two again, okay? And with that being said, this is Dr. Fatisha Andrews. I am Dr. Candace House, right? Okay, and listen, your family. Really, I'm so serious when I say this. If you don't have any family, if you are fighting with your family, hopefully by the time you have listened to us and have been with us and have communicated with us enough, you go back and get your natural family. But just know you got a friend indeed. Okay? For real. You got a friend for life. Okay? For real. So with that being said, guys, we are out of here. Thank you so much for being with us in the segment. Please, please, please stay tuned for the next one. That being said, hey fam, how you doing? Am I ready to get started?
I think we're ready to get
Do I know what I want to talk about?
I think we know what we want to talk
do
about.
we think we know what
I
we're
think
gonna
we
talk
do.
about?
I think we do.
I think we do too. I think we got papers now. I got my phone. She has her paper. First episode, we didn't have it. We were not prepared.
Yes.
But you see how well we did. We did great.
I followed directions.
Okay, cool. So guys, listen, we talked about we did an introduction of ourselves. So for those who have not seen the first episode, go back and listen to it because it's going to do you some good and you'll understand what we're all about, okay? So now we're getting ready to get this party started, right? And we're getting ready to get this party started quickly. Right?
Set it off.
Ooh. Hey guys, what you think about Set It Off as a theme music?
Hey, set it off. Yeah, I think I like that one.
I think I like it too. I think I like it. We getting ready to set it off for real though.
Yeah.
Okay. Family dynamics and relationships. Listen, guys, we're going to have guests on every week, and we're going to be talking concerning their lives, like what kind of family dynamics, what was their environment, their background, the family culture, and everything else that they dealt with, and how did it shape them. Dr. Fatisha is a nurse practitioner. Also, she deals in the mental health issue when it comes to, say that again.
To children and children, adults, adolescents, and all the way up to the lifespan.
Listen, this is not. Listen, it is what it is. I'm gonna forget some stuff. She gonna forget some stuff,
That's
and we
right.
gonna keep it moving. We're not stopping these cameras. We're gonna keep on going.
Keep it going.
Okay, there we go. Now, when it comes to family dynamics, when it comes to the environment that someone is raised in, what do you see in your practice that stands out to you when it comes to actually moving people from here to here, where they're whole, where they're made whole?
Where they made whole and where they go. Family dynamics as far as when they grew up and they're okay. That's a good question.
The culture of the family.
Yeah. I would like to say that the culture of the family is really important. Many times people may not think so. I get some people that tell me that they grew up, both parents, you know, brothers, siblings, and everything was fine, and they just at a spot in life when something just happened.
Yeah.
You know, then I had some that actually they were abused from some family member or something happened, and then by the time they get to talking to me, they have a lot of issues that they had to kind of filter through.
Yeah.
In their minds, you know. Medicines help, but the main thing is the therapy that kind of helps them.
Yeah.
So the family dynamic is so important because it really does set somebody up from where they grew up at to their life and how they deal with situations.
Yeah.
You know, how things they can handle. What were they taught by their mom and dad? What were they taught by just with their mom if they only had a mom or they only have a dad? I have some families only have a dad, of course, which is good. I see more of that nowadays than we probably did before.
Yeah.
So it depends on whose input, what type of input. Did they have someone that would love them and nourish them and care for them, or do they have someone that just really didn't care and threw them to the side and now they gotta really what they call jacked, right? Kind of jacked up because they don't know how to deal with life, and it's not their fault, you know. So the family dynamics is really important, you know, and structure wise. So,
Yeah.
you know, some people have they don't have. Some people have grandparents. Some people don't have grandparents. They help to input into their lives, and you know, it just all depends on, you know, what they had, and then what they cherish. But even if they didn't have a strong, cohesive, dynamic family, they can learn how to still live a healthy life.
Yes, they can.
You know.
Yes, they can.
They can decide.
I've seen it.
Right. You know, they can decide that what happened before is not going to say what's going to be in their future or the now.
Yeah.
You know?
Most definitely. In my practice, what I have seen when, you know, people are always saying, oh, here they go, blaming the mama and the daddy. Don't you hear that all the time?
I hear that, yes.
I don't want to blame mama and daddy. But listen, really, truly, it starts with that caretaker, whoever that caretaker is.
Yes.
Really, truly. And it starts, and they had learned how to parent based upon their family dynamics. Right? So it's just something that's passed on through observation.
Yes.
You know, on how to parent.
Yes.
So what ends up happening, a lot of people, they don't want to say, oh, no, I will take responsibility. You got to understand why you do what you do. It's not like you blaming anybody at all. You just need to understand where the thought patterns come from. Where did that come from? Because I can give you an example. Nothing that's serious, nothing that's bad. How about this? There are men who will not show any emotions, right?
Right.
Because in their family dynamics, they was taught, boys don't cry.
That's right.
Suck it up. They are not allowed to feel.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what happens to them. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Suck it up, suck it up. You're a big boy, you're a big boy. And so then as they mature, as they have a family of their own, then the wife says, you're not an emotional person. What's the matter? I mean, all this stuff is happening and you don't seem to care.
That's right.
But where they came from,
It's what they were taught.
told them, you have no place in showing anything. To be a man means to stand strong, be silent, and suffer silently.
That's right. That's right.
So then they cannot reach out to their wives for emotional support because they were taught to be silent.
That's right.
And then the wife, on the other hand, now was taught that men are supposed to just, because in her family, she saw the same thing. So she's reiterating what he was taught, how he grew up. So if he tries to break from that mold and say, listen, this was right here is concerning me. Oh, why are you whining? Can't you fit,
Yes.
family dynamics.
Family dynamics.
So we have to learn how to reprogram our minds on how we think about things, because this is the environment in which we were born into, and it shaped and framed the way we think, how we act, how we feel.
That's right. Dr. Candace, the first part of that is recognizing
Yes.
that's what's going on. Because some people may not even understand that they're thinking that way, they're feeling that way, and they don't know why they're doing this. But they got to realize, yes, there is an issue, and it's okay to say, I have an issue. I have something that's going on, and then recognize what it is, and then you can go and fix and do exactly what you're saying to fix the issue, right?
But it's got to be recognized first, and and a lot of times you won't even know why you're doing what you're doing to somebody from the outside. Say, hey, this is why this is. That's
right.
And just by asking a few probing questions, this is where this come from. Okay, now how do I then change the direction in which I have been behaving?
Yes.
And pick up new behaviors that is going to garner me a place where I can be trusted to be emotional.
That's right.
As a man.
That's right.
Because a lot of women are like, this man weak. Because they were taught when a man shows any kind of emotions, he is a weak man. You understand? So it's a lot that goes on.
It is a lot.
And how they parent, different, even when you're talking about family dynamics, one person was taught this thing, and see, these are two people that was taught the same thing.
Yeah. And then we get
And so you got them clashing with each other,
right.
even though they were taught the same thing.
That's right.
Right?
It's interesting because they taught the same thing.
Yeah.
What about the ones who were taught different things?
Yes.
Right? So really they're clashing for real, right?
Yes.
And the main thing you said was really good, to change. Like you have to know what the issue is and then want to change.
What to change?
Because change can happen. And change comes with some practice though. Because it may not just happen overnight. Well, likely it's not going to happen overnight, right?
Not at all.
They're going to happen with some practice of finding out what it is you're supposed to do and doing exactly what you're saying, step by step. And it's a day by day process, right?
It really is.
It's it's with life, for anything that we do. It's a day by day. It's like one, and if you happen to fall back, you just step back up and say, okay, no, I want to change. I want to continue. I want to do. So you said some good key points there.
So it's from dealing with people all the time. I just ask a couple of questions. I listen to people, and I can pick up real quick. This is the issue. I mean, this is it, point blank. Okay, so now let's work on this.
Do you find that they're receptive? Like, do you find that they really want to?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Pretty much, yeah. Because I'm like, either you want to get better or you don't. If you don't, just don't waste my time, because I ain't got time for you.
That's right. Do they follow your directions right away? Like, do you find that they do?
They try some of it.
Okay.
Sometimes they try. But then it's easy to fall back into old patterns.
It is.
That's just like even losing weight.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you fall back into old patterns.
Oh,
You
it's
start
easy
off
for
good,
Yes, you do.
and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, snappity snap.
Yeah, it's like,
And then you're like, do I really want to go back? I mean, this is work. This is hard. I don't want to be denied.
That's right. I just want to taste this. It just tastes so good. I just,
Yeah, so then you're like,
then you get in the habit of it.
yeah, and you'll fall back into old habits.
Yes.
So even with trying to fix relationships,
Yes.
whether it's parent to child, whether it's siblings, whether it's husband and wife, whether it's friends, that's hard. I was reading a story today. Well, I've been reading for a couple of days. Guys, listen, one thing about me on this podcast, with these lights and all this stuff, you're going to see me sweating. After a while, you're going to see a fan.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. So just don't be shocked when you see a piece of paper towel. Give me one, somebody. When you see a paper towel come up and I'm wiping sweat off of me, just know that I'm okay. But this is going to happen. So it's going to be all right.
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. But anyway, I was looking at this. I was reading a story and I was feeling feeling sad for this individual. Thank you so much. Our producer want to make sure that my glasses don't fall off in the middle of me talking. It's okay. It's life.
It's like it falls off, you just pick it back up and go.
But the person in the story, the mother in this story, I was just like, Lord, this is just really, really bad. This woman went her entire life. She's 42 years old. She finally got married. And it took her a long time to get married because she pushed everybody away because she thought she wasn't so good enough. Because her mother growing up kept reminding her that she was a goofball. Wow. Meaning that everything she did not turn out good. Her brother went to medical school, became a doctor. She went to law school and dropped out after the first semester because she was not an A student. She got B's. Okay. Well, her brother had a 4.6 grade point average, right? And the mother, everything the brother did, who was the oldest, the mother was like, oh, why can't you be like him? You know? Yes. She was always, heralding him with praise and, just his name was just the name to just be up there in lights or whatever. And then she looked at her daughter and was like, well, what are you doing? Why are you? Okay. So this was this girl's whole life that she had this going on. So she meets this man. She couldn't believe that he loved her. She got married to this guy and she gave him hell. The mother came back in the life. She cut her mother off, cut her brother off. But the reason why this is the kicker. When she was graduating from high school, graduating from high school, and it was right that the prom had happened, right before graduation, and she heard her mother on the phone. Her mother was talking to her aunt, and she said, I should have stopped at John. No, his name was James. I should have stopped at James. She can't do anything right. And from her hearing that, she had already had to deal with the fact that she could never measure up. Mm-hmm. But then when the mother said what the mother said, and she overheard the conversation, that put the icing on the cake. And she went throughout her life. She was 17 and a half at the time. Up until the time she was 42 and she got ready to get married. So she sabotaged every relationship she had. She was a goofball because her mom said she was a goofball. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And she just acted out what her mother spoke over her. And then she felt like, if nobody loved me, my mom don't love me, she doesn't value me, she wish I was never born, what value do I have?
Yes.
So when she got married, she took that into her marriage. Then her mom comes back and her mom now wants a relationship, but she's still with this. They have this dynamic where the mother is always constantly criticizing. But now the mother wants to change it and the mother wants to rectify what was happening, but she still has these same patterns of speech whereby no matter what the daughter does, she's thinking, oh, you could have did better. You could have did. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So nothing is changing. They're still clashing.
Yes.
The mother wants a relationship with the daughter. The daughter doesn't want a relationship with the mother. The mother is so used to saying what she says. And so that's the dynamics this girl grew up in. So now she's trying to heal.
Yes.
And the healing process is hard because the mother won't acknowledge. She brushes it aside. She said, yeah, that happened, but you don't understand. You didn't listen to the rest of the conversation. She said, after you wish you would have stopped with James, what more?
What more did I have to hear?
Yeah. And so she was like, you won't take responsibility. And that's the kicker. When you finally say, hey, this is why I think the way I think or whatever, and it could have been some toxicity going on in the family, and that family member does not acknowledge
That's right.
that they have a part to play.
There's a lot of people that do that.
Yes. Then how do you move on from there? What do you do? So I'm interested in finding out, how does she move on?
Yeah, that's
but one thing about it, her husband recognized and is seeing the mother do what the mother is doing. And now he's standing in the gap. Because when the mother goes to talk, he stands in front of his wife.
That's good. That is good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, you're not going to talk to my wife. Like, that's my daughter. This is my wife.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm
Be
saying?
her
So
cover, right?
it's her covering.
Yes.
So now it's bringing her to the place where, oh, I have somebody who values me enough to stand before the dragon.
That's right. That's right. It's
You know-
to build her up. Right?
Yes.
She has to go through that other healing part. She has to go through that part of even forgiving her mother at some point for all those things that she did. She may not forget. Like I said forgive, right?
Yes.
Forgive so that she can move on and be able to love her husband the way that she needs to love, like, you know, truly love her husband.
Yeah.
You know, I've met some people that's like that, where they tell me, yeah, my mom did this and it did that, and I'm having a hard time like dealing with my husband, and or now they're learning how to, okay, mom, because their mother is still going to be in their lives, but they have to learn how to put that mom to the side and not think about everything that their mother has said to them, everything that the mother still could say to them, and be able to deal with life. And to kind of compartmentalize and say, okay, this is what you think, this is what you say, but that's not who I am.
Yeah.
You know, so that they can be able to move and be healed, so they can actually do what they need to do with their families, you know, in their own lives.
Yes.
You know, and that's a process in itself. You know, I see people that like this all the time, and you know, and I'm sure you have as well.
Yes.
That story is like so typical. And it's
So
a shame though, you know, but it's life. It happens.
Yeah.
And we have to get people to be able to move forward. So if that happened to you, just know that it is hope. There's lots of hope for you, right?
Hey guys, we're back. We needed to take a little station break. Yes, sir. We have to have them every now and then. But anyway, we were talking about relationships, the family dynamics, and I had given a story. For those of you that look at this in the middle of stuff, you know, you guys, you'll fast forward and stuff, you know, because you don't want to look at the whole thing. You just try to get the gist of something. I know y'all, because I'm like that. So I don't have no beef with you. Trust me. I understand. But you need to go back and look at the beginning. At some point in time, do it while you're in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? While you brushing your teeth, or while you're washing the dishes, or, you know, while you're just chilling, you're getting ready to go to bed. Just go back and look at the whole thing, because there are so many things that were said concerning the need for us to examine where we get our behaviors from, how we in turn react to situations, you know? And sometimes people are like, they think they normal. Ain't nobody normal. Everybody got something, okay? So don't think anything is wrong with you per se, because everybody got a little bit of cray-cray.
That's right.
I know you ain't supposed to say that, but
That's right.
trust me,
That's right.
everybody got a little bit of cray-cray. You can't be in this world and not have a little bit.
A little bit.
Because this world will do some stuff to you, okay? And we all have to navigate through life. And some navigate in some areas better than others. And, you know, other people navigate in other areas better than others. So it's just, hey, we all got something that we have to work through. So don't feel alone. Don't feel like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I will ever be right. You will, I promise you, if you put the work in. You got to put work in. You got to do self-examination. And this is what this show is about. It's about people who have literally either they're starting the process, in the middle of the process, or have gone through the process to live a very fulfilling life. Okay? Starting in the middle of, gone through, got to the other side, and now they're triumphed. Okay? So wherever you find yourself, you good. I mean, you just perfect.
That's right. And you know what I like about what you just said? The ones who came out can go back and now and go help somebody else, right?
Yes.
In that process. Because trust me, if you went through something, someone else is going through that as well. And then your testimony is something definitely to help someone get through what they're going through at the same time. Yes.
Most definitely. Guys, it's been fun. I actually like this.
I love this. This is wonderful.
Yeah. We're going to enjoy talking with you. We enjoy bringing some of our own experiences and other people's experiences to you. So you can see if you find yourself or know someone that may need, to listen to what's going on. We're even going to have later on where we're going to have you be able to call in, right, about some situations, or even if you want to just say, hey, fam, we'll be like, hey, fam, be hey right back at you, right? If you have some questions, you need some advice on some stuff, we're here for you, okay? We're going to be here for you. And it is a privilege and an honor for us to be able to come into your home, your car, your workplace, wherever you are, at any time of the day, and just talk with you. Okay? Dr. Fatisha, can you tell them a little bit about what we're going to be talking about in this coming year? Because we have the year planned out.
Yes.
Pretty much on what
All
we're
right.
going to talk about.
All right, so I'm looking at my paper here. So we're going to talk about, we did a little bit of it already, family dynamics and relationships, but there's more to it, more in depth. And we'll have some people come on, they're going to talk about their different lives, right? Something like that. All right, then we're going to talk about self-care. Everybody knows self-care is so awesome. We need it, and we don't get it.
Need it.
Many of us don't get it, okay? Some of us have gotten it, but then we kind of set back and it should be a monthly, daily type of thing, self-care, right? And mental wellness for families. That's good. And then we're going to talk about parenting and child development.
Yes.
Right? That's a big deal right there. We're going to talk about celebrating diversity and inclusion. Something like embracing cultural diversity, promoting inclusivity, understanding different family tradition and customs. That's what that means. Okay? Yeah. All right, next we're going to talk about family financial planning and budgeting. We all need that, right? We need to know that. Yes, we do.
Yes.
To get to the next level. I'm excited about that. And then something that's dear to my heart is health and wellness for the family. Yes. I love that. All right. We're going to promoting healthy habits. And I want to say this. Having a healthy mind, a healthy body, and healthy finances, that's all inclusive. That's what we're going to be talking about. Stuff like that, right?
Most definitely.
All right. Then we're going to talk about career and work-life balance. And we all know careers are great. But if you don't have work-life balance, then you're kind of overwhelmed and you're going through things and you just... life becomes stressful, right? And then you don't get to do the things that God has called you to do in your life if you don't have a work-life balance, right?
That's the truth.
Okay. And the next one, we're going to talk about navigating life transitions as a family. And so I'm sure there's like relocation, divorce, loss or welcoming new family members. You go through different life things, transitions.
Yes.
You go through life phases, and that's important to know about, right?
Yes.
Another one is education and learning together. If you have a love for education or you don't like education, we need some education. Just get the education, okay? Whatever phase of your life. And let's learn together, right? All right. The next one is community involvement and social impact. Volunteering as a family, that's a big deal right there.
Yes, it really is.
Because teaching your children how to volunteer, and doing it together, that's amazing. I love that. Community service projects and making a positive impact in your local community. We all have a local community. In your local community, you might be in somewhere other part of the world, but your local community is important. So we're going to talk about that. Another one's family traditions and celebrations, because we all have our culture. We have things that we do in our families, different things like that. So we're going to talk about those different things. And then lastly, we're going to have open mic sharing family stories and memories. That's great.
Yeah.
You did a great job. Oh, I'm excited about this.
I am too. I'm very excited about what is going to take place. Why? Because we are family, you know? I mean, we really are a family. And everybody has a family. I don't care who you are. You know, I know someone, right? And their parents are dead. They're not married, never had any children. The aunts, uncles are dead. The cousins are dead. They're by themselves, right? And they say, but I have nobody, right? But I'm like, no, yes, you do. You have family. They may not be blood, but they consider you family, and you should consider them family because they're going to be there for you, even when sometimes blood relatives are not there for you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because your blood relatives can be alive, but that doesn't mean that that you guys are close. And you can have friendships, people that you bring into your family circle. A family is somebody that have shared beliefs, and that's somebody that's going to care about you, see about you, and your well-being. Somebody that you can call on or whatever. So nobody is alone.
That's right. They're not.
Really, if you look around, you have family.
Absolutely. They sure do.
You really and truly do. I'm a big proponent of, I bring everybody under the tent. Now, sometimes people get kicked out from underneath the tent. They act like they stupid. Once they fly right, they can come back under the tent. Okay?
Yes.
But you're going to get dealt with. I promise.
Good you, mama.
But you come back in when you get your little life together.
That's right.
But I believe in bringing people together as a family because we're all of the same blood. We're all of the same race, which is a human race. We're all family.
Yes, we are.
So nobody is ever really, ever alone.
Absolutely.
I just don't believe that.
That's right. There's always someone there.
But sometimes through hurt and everything else, we'll close ourselves off and think that there is nobody.
That's right.
But there really is.
That's right.
Several somebodies. Not just one, but several somebodies.
Yeah.
You just got to let them in.
That's right. That's beautifully said. Absolutely.
Why, thank you.
Welcome.
I try.
You do good.
I try. But I don't know how long this broadcast has been going because we're not paying any attention whatsoever.
No, we're not.
We don't know. We have no idea. I hope somebody has been keeping time because we have not been. Is anybody keeping time? How many more minutes? What we going to talk about in 5 minutes, y'all? What y'all want to hear?
Yeah, please.
We're going to ask y'all. Type it in the chat. Tell us what else to say.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm parched. Let me drink some Coke Zero. See Coke Zero? She has
I
water.
have water.
She's trying to be good.
But she's being good too.
Yeah,
Look,
this is no sugar.
no sugars in there, so that's good. If you're going to drink something, no sugars.
Coke Zero is good for you. You understand what I'm saying? Eventually, Coke is going to pick us up. I'm prophesying now.
That's right. There you go.
They're going to pay for this
That's
podcast.
right.
No, but seriously speaking, guys, we're talking about family dynamics. We're talking about how we as humans can be there for others. Because that is listen, love makes the world go round for real.
Yes, it does.
It really makes the world go round. And if we have love one for another, that's one of the things God told us. He said, love God and then love your neighbor as yourself, right?
Right.
Why? Because love is so important. Love forgives a multitude of sins. Love covers, right? Are you your brother, your sister's keeper?
Can I interject for a second?
Please do, because
All
I'm
right.
tired of talking.
All right, so when she said that, it brought me to a point where I remember talking to someone this week. And many times, I know it's like January 19th today, but this week I was like still saying, Happy New Year. How are you doing? Because you know what? I haven't seen them in a while. I asked them, how's your holiday? How did you go? And I know certain people that I know that basically, I know that some people are missing their family. So this one particular person I knew, she had been lonely. Her husband had died because he was my patient as well one time.
Oh, wow.
And so when he passed away, I was like, oh my goodness, it was so sad. It really was. And then she became my patient again afterwards, I guess. And so I've been helping her out. And then she would just say every month, I'm just so lonely. I'm lonely. I'm lonely. And I was like, okay, where's your family? Because I'm thinking like, let's go see your family. Where your family? Can't you go live with them? I'm like, I don't think any elderly person should be by themselves if they are, they have family. So, but one lives in California, another lives in Arizona. And she said they're just so busy with their own family. Then she has a daughter here in Florida that basically was doing her own thing. So she wasn't seeing them.
Yeah.
But she told me it was just before Christmas. She said, guess what? My daughter is like, she's in my life again. And she like perked up. And I saw the perk in her. And she said, she's doing so good. And her husband, they're coming and they're going to see me for Christmas. And I'm like, oh my goodness. That is so wonderful. They're going to see her for Christmas. And so when I saw her again after, so this week, I said, so how are you doing? And I said, are you still lonely? She said, you know what? I still miss my husband. That's my lonely part. But the love because she feels so much love from her daughter, love from the son-in-law, love from the grandchildren, that she's perked up and she's feeling so much better. So when you said that, it's like when people know that they're loved, because love is so wonderful. God is love, and we need that love, And I just like resonate in my heart, like I get what you're saying, because when people know that they're loved, they're willing to work through. Now she has like a little like, I'm just happy, I'm just whatever, and like good, So it was a good story for this week.
I hate for older people to be alone and their children nowhere around.
Yes.
And you see that a lot in hospitals where they die by themselves, in nursing homes where they die by themselves. And then somebody comes from somewhere far away and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
But why couldn't they move them over there to where they were to start with?
I worked at a nursing home and there was so many people that were just by themselves. They had nobody coming through, and it was pretty sad though. It really was. And there were some who did have their families that lived near them. Like, 'cause I know that people can't have someone in their home all the time because they work and they have to do certain things. That's understandable. When they come visit them, that's another thing. But there were some that have family that lived close, but no one came and saw them. Or they just didn't have nobody that lived close enough to come over. And that was the sad part,
Yeah. Loneliness is a beast. That's why a lot of people fall into depression.
Yes.
That's why a lot of people commit suicide.
Yes.
Because they feel like they're not understood, they're not loved, and they're very lonely.
Very much.
That's sad. So if that's you, listen, if you are experiencing any of that, my suggestion to you is, if you have family, pick up the phone and call. If you have an old childhood friend, pick up the phone and call. If you have a coworker where you used to be partners in crime or whatever at work, or the guy that you went to lunch with, or the girl that you would, people say work husband, work wife. They say best friends, work friends. If that's the case and you've moved on from that particular job, give them a call anyway. Don't be by yourself. If you have a neighbor that, that's in your neighborhood, you may live in an apartment building and you see somebody all the time, and you may have exchanged pleasantries, and you may have been one of them people that had a scowl on your face, frowning at everybody. Put a smile on your face, change it. If you were a person that was friendly and you would say, hey, go a step further and try to have a conversation with them. You just never know. Somebody may be in that same spot and is looking for a friend. So don't stay in that state that you're in. Go and try to make contact with somebody somewhere. Okay? And then you can call the national hotline for people who feels like that they just want to give up and check up out of here and talk to them.
That's right.
But guys, listen, call us and talk to us as well.
We're here for
Okay? We really, truly are here for you. We really want to know how you're doing, and we want to change the conversation that it keeps going around in your mind. Okay?
That's right.
And make it one that's positive. So with that, we're out of here. The episode is done. This podcast is done. But until next time, we just want to know how you're doing. Hey, fam.
I was just a little boy, everybody told me you could be